And welcome everyone to another season of the Isles Talk. In this case, the Isles Talk vlogcast here on the new Isles Talk YouTube channel. I'm hoping everyone can hear me at this point. Again, all brand new stuff. Come into the chat room, say hello. Um, we'll get started in just a few minutes here. I want to make sure the lighting is good. Everything else is fixed here. Perfect. So, welcome one and all. And for those of you who do not know me, I am Paul Kreischer. I am your host. You will get a couple more people probably showing up here who will fill in for me every once in a while. And as soon as I have that official, I'll be bringing them in, and they'll be here all season long to help me get you through this next season. So, a little bit about me. Why would you guys actually want to come here, listen to me talk? What is it about Isles Talk that you would actually want to stick around for? Well, for me, I've been blogging now since 2006. I have been full time basically with Isles Talk. I believe I'm entering my 8th year with Isles Talk. I have done some press box work for the Bridgeport Sound Tigers in the past. And I've just developed a really good rapport around the NHL, actually. Um, I do have a few sources every once in a while, but I have mostly contacts. And what does that mean? What's the difference between the two of them? Contacts are primarily people who are like me, been blogging for a while, fan bloggers, and but they have access to the team. So I don't necessarily have rumors. I can't. I don't have rumors, but I can't confirm. When the rumors are out there, I really can't confirm because there's really nothing ever official. But I can tell you if there's with confidence if there's something going on, and I can let you guys know that way. What's going on, Greg? Can you guys hear me all right? Any problems? Any issues? We're good. Because if my mouth's just yapping here for like the last 2 minutes, it's not going to do me any good. Okay, beautiful. So, what's up, guys? So, all right. For those of you, again, getting to know me real quick, my style is very simple. I go back, it's very old school. I go back to the Tory years, the Devillano years. I'm a blogger who is a huge fan of building the team through the draft and developing. A small case can be made for Garth Snow as well in terms of the drafting that he has done. Um, I'm a big proponent in winning through the draft, whether it comes to trading players that we had drafted to improve, or if we just have to draft ourselves a number one defenseman or a number one centerman, so on and so forth. So perfect. Thank you guys. Great. That's my style. That's what I've always been. That's what I brought. That's what I was brought up in. That's what I go along with. And so my opinions are usually going to be a little bit different from everybody else's. Um, I'm going to do several sections. Usually, what I did this on Facebook as well. I have several sections. I usually do like an Isles news, an Isles gripe or complaint venting session on my part, and then towards the end of the night, the end of the show, I usually do like an Isles water cooler talk, and that's where I'll discuss all the rumors, speculations, conspiracy theories. So hold off on all of that for now. What I'm going to do with this show, in the first segment, I'm going to give you my Islander season preview. If you haven't read it already, go on to islestalk.com. I have it already written down for you. I also did the Eastern Conference and Western Conference predictions for you guys to read just in case. So, without further ado, oh, and we'll also go over the Washington Capitals game last night. I know a lot of people were upset that the Isles lost, but I got a little different vibe on that. So let's get into the season preview very quickly here. Not much has changed, to be honest with you. And I had a feeling things weren't going to change. I purposely put up the last show from season one from Miles Talk when it was on Facebook Live. I brought that into the first YouTube channel because I wanted you guys to go over that. I wanted you guys to watch that again. And when I watched it again, I was like, holy crap. Like, I was actually right. And I'm not really gloating for like trying to be right, but it's like the whenever I say something and the Islanders are following through, that makes me feel a whole lot better. But for those of you who are returning, I warned you. Those of you who wanted Line, those of you who wanted Marner over the summer, you all wasted your time. I told you to go on vacation. I told you to go relax. I told you to go do something. You didn't do it. You didn't. You were worried about getting that next top six forward. The Islanders don't have to get a they didn't have to get a top six forward during the summer. They really didn't. And we're going to go into why. Now, at this point, with the season starting, anything can happen. And I said that on the final episode from season one. So give that a listen, give that a watch, and that'll help you get into season two here with us. If it's not broke, don't fix it. And what the Islanders pretty much did was they brought everybody back. And for me, that's very significant because it's something that just has not happened in God knows how long. And I go into further detail back in the last chapter in season one there. This year, we're bringing back a 103-point team. Last year, if you were to ask me who would I want, Semyon Varlamov or Robin Lehner, it'd be Semyon Varlamov. And true to form, Varlamov only gave up 2 goals in his first game against the Washington Capitals last night, and we'll get into that later. But I certainly don't have any issues with him at all. I think he's going to do a phenomenal job. The Barry Trotz system is very much an upgraded version to Jack Capuano. Okay, and I have said that before. When Jack Capuano had the players to properly fit the system, Jack Capuano's prorated seasons averaged around 96 points a season. 96. And over Capuano's entire span, he's a prorated 88 points. 88. So now we come in this season. Barry Trotz just wins the Jack Adams Award, takes the Islanders to 103 points, beats out Pittsburgh in the first round, and loses to Carolina in the second. Can someone please tell me how the people have the Islanders out of the playoffs this year? Like, I don't get it. I just don't. 7th place, 8th place, really? Because the Devils and Rangers improved on paper? That all of a sudden the Islanders are like out of the playoffs? Okay, Philadelphia, that's going to be another story. We'll get into that later. Okay, and for those who are saying it's a fluke, let's go over the years here. Okay, 2013, that shortened season. The Islanders played out that entire season. They were on pace for 94 points. 2014 was a hiccup, 77 points. 2015, 101 points. 2016 was 100 points. 2017, 94 points. 2018, really bad defense. 80 points with a really bad defense. And then last year, 103 points. So out of the last 7 years, the Islanders have done 94 points or better in 5 of those 7 years. Folks, it's not a fluke. 2014 was a fluke. 2018 was a big fluke. Okay? 94 points, even though we missed the playoffs, we were still tied for 8th in the conference. It was good enough for the playoffs, but Toronto decided to win out. Okay? It's a mindset. It's a disrespect. It's the perception. They're not the Rangers. Okay? Many people in the NHL, the media, the fans, they're used to watching the Islanders lose all the time. And that's the only thing I have going here for why anyone would put the Islanders 6th, 7th, or 8th. It's just I can't see it happening. I won't see it happen. I don't think it will happen unless there is an absolute plague of injuries hitting this team. I can't see it. I just don't get it. The system works. Barry Trotz just proved to the players and everyone else that the system does in fact work. Now, the importance of bringing back all of those the returning players, they all now know how to play the system. Okay, it was getting to be very well documented during the summer that the players were still adjusting during the season on how to play the Barry Trotz system. And it started to show in the playoffs. We saw the emergence of Jordan Eberle. We saw the emergence of Adam Pelech. And this year alone, let's get more into this year. Yes, the Devils and the Rangers, they improved on paper. Uh Devon Tays is going to be here for a full season. Very much like getting a free agent, guys. He wasn't here for he was only here for half a season. It's like picking up a free agent. Michael Dal Cole, in all honesty, uh, if you think he can score more than 6 goals this year, because that's pretty much Andrew Ladd and Michael Dal Cole's total from last year. If you think Michael Dal Cole can get you more than 6 goals, guess what? That's a free agent acquisition in a sense, only for free. He's being brought up. Um, Ryan Pulock. Look out for Ryan Pulock. The kid scored 9 goals, I think, last year. I'm expecting 15 goals from him this year, 45 points. The guys have learned the system. And last year, people call it overachieving. Looking back at it right now, I think it's more maturing than it is overachieving. This year, people are going to say, oh, all right, you got, or they may have called it lucky last year. If they call it overachieving again this year, I'm going to call it growth. They're growing into the system. They're evolving into the system. Okay, let's not forget now the acquisition of, well, not the acquisition, but the bringing up of Noah Dobson. He's younger. He's faster. His IQ is off the charts. Okay. The reason why I'm bringing up all the younger players is for 2 reasons. Number 1, the Islanders can duplicate what they did last year. And I'm going to give you numbers as to why. Throughout their franchise, the Islanders have recorded 217 goals or less in 7 of those seasons. Every single time they have made the playoffs. Every single time. The Islanders gave up 199 goals last year. If the Islanders drop a little bit and they give up 217 goals, 215 goals, folks, they're still probably going to make the playoffs. And if the offense understands and implements what Barry Trotz has been asking them over a span of over a full season, their numbers are going to improve. It's not going to be 228 goals. For me, the goals, the goal total for the Islanders should be around 240. Why 240? Because if the Islanders score more than 240 goals, there's an 80% shot of them making the playoffs. But with the defensive system that we have, if they do both, we're in. This is why I can't see the Islanders dropping sixth place, seventh place, eighth place. I just can't see it. There's no way. Lou Lamoriello improved on its strength this year. Yes, the Devils improved on the offense, and so did the Rangers. But what did the Islanders do? I said this before. Varlamov to me is a better goalie than Robin Leonard over the long term. Okay, so you may have just in fact improved the goaltending. You're bringing in Noah Dobson, who I'm going to add right now. This wasn't a quote, nothing left to prove in the minors. I hate that. That's not what he did here. Noah Dobson made this team because he is better than Johnny Boychuk and he is better than Thomas Hickey. That's evident. Okay. The beginning of this offseason, the beginning of training camp, okay, to my knowledge, the vibe I was getting was that Noah Dobson was going to get his 9-game stint and then possibly sent down. That changed about maybe a week into training camp. Okay, let's get that out of the way. That's why I was asked not to write a season preview of the Islanders because there were changes coming. Some changes are coming, but we'll get into that in the water cooler talk. Okay. Dobson staying on Long Island is not a result of what he did in juniors. It's not. He beat out Johnny Boychuk. He beat out Thomas Hickey. Why? Because he fits the system better. It's not anything that Boychuk didn't do. It's not that Thomas Hickey didn't do anything wrong. Noah Dobson is now the better player. So now you're getting, and let's talk about this. The other teams, they improved on offense. What did the Islanders do? They improved on their goaltending. In my humble opinion, I love Leonard. I love Leonard's season. But if I had to go for a career, I'd go Varlamov. Noah Dobson paired with Nick Leddy is going to make Nick Leddy better. You're going to get a full season of Devon Tays, and Scott Mayfield. That's going to make that pair better. If we have the second half Adam Pelech with the emergence of Ryan Pulock, that whole pair is going to improve over the course of the full season. Folks, and I'm telling you right now, I do have friends who are NHL scouts. Every single one of them have told me that Pelech and Pulock pairing are going to be solid for the next several years. Several. So the Islanders improved on their strengths while the Devils and the Rangers were improving on their weaknesses. Scoring was a problem. Okay. Now, for many of you, a lot of people are going to say, well, scoring is a weakness. I get where you're going with that. Part of me understands. I don't think the Islanders have to make a trade. They didn't have to make a trade over the summer. What were they doing? They were waiting to see what the other teams were going to do. And then come right now, the first week in the NHL, they're looking at other teams. And what they're finding is There are going to be a couple of teams that are going to be desperate. They've got holes to fix. So if the Islanders are going to make a trade, they're not going to be the ones going out to other teams. Other teams are going to be coming to Lou. And yes, you can have that Godfather theme with Lou, in the background, looking like the Godfather and say, I'll make you an offer you can't refuse. It's because he's holding all the cards. He's holding all the cards, folks. He's got it. Lou can remain as patient as he wants. Lou will make the deal that he wants, and it'll improve the team because that person coming in will fit the system. That's a big one. Now, 228 points. How do we get to 240? I've said this before. If you were to spread across Casey's Ezekiel's extra 10 goals, he had 20 last year. Give him 10 this year. Spread the 10 out around that third line. And I think that's what you get out of Derek Brassard. I think Derek Brassard is going to spread that puck around. I also feel that Beauvillier and Komarov will do very well with Brassard. So I think you're going to see more scoring from Uncle Leo. He only had 6 goals last year. Derek Brassard could probably rack up the same amount of goals as Filppula if he really needs to. I've been told by a couple of Ranger fans who are season ticket holders for like the last 20 years. They said you just got yourself a 3C, an occasional 2C, and if you need him to play 1C for a couple of weeks, he'll do it. And you got him for like 4C money. They're like outstanding move on Brassard. Phenomenal move. So there's going to be a higher ceiling for Brassard as well. Uncle Leo will probably get a few more goals. Anthony Beauvillier can probably do the same amount. I mean, he's going to be on the third line left wing. We'll see, where he is. He's not going to be playing with Barzal at the moment, but you never know. Again, Michael Dal Cole. Michael Dal Cole is going to be a big factor here, guys. For what I was able to see last night, he was fitting the system, and I think he just needs to develop some chemistry with Brock and Bailey, and I think you're going to see some good things out of him. So there's a lot here. There's a lot of potential. There's a lot of moving up, and let's not forget about Matt Barzal and Jordan Eberle finally buying into the system. And I think at this point, they're going to come out. I think you're going to see like career years for them. So I can't see it. I can't see the Islanders finishing 6th, 7th, or 8th. Can't do it. Can't see it. So yeah, that's my Islanders season preview. I have the Islanders going anywhere from 100 to 105. I'm giving respect to the Washington Capitals. I think the Islanders can finish in second. I know I didn't touch on this, but the power play, new power play coach Hiller, he's going to get the power play going. He's going to find out who works best with where. And I have more information on him on ilestalk.com in more detail in my write-up for the season preview. So go check that out on ilestalk.com. But to reach 240 goals after last season, you're basically asking each player to score half a goal. Half a goal. Hell, Noah Dobson scores 1 goal. It's 1 goal more than Thomas Hickey. Okay? You're asking Uncle Leo to score 7 goals. Okay? Probably a little bit more. You're probably asking Uncle Leo for maybe 10 goals this year. It's not a lot. You're asking Cal Clutterbuck to score more than 8? He can do it. You're asking Michael Dal Cole to score, 6, 9, at least 10 goals? I think Michael Dal Cole is going to do more than that. I think it's very possible. And I think the power play itself should get you an extra 12 goals, 13 goals. So the numbers here match up for the Islanders to make the playoffs again. Where it leads them to, I don't know. I don't trust Philadelphia. Last year, for those of you who were following me, I didn't trust Carolina. Did not like that at all. Sure enough, Look at what Carolina did. They made some small moves during the season, and they ended up going to the conference finals. Philadelphia is my team that year. This year, I don't like. I don't like Philly. I don't trust them. I don't know what they can do. But with Elaine Vigneault there's enough structure where you might actually see, God forbid, consistency coming out of Philadelphia, and I think Philadelphia could be a 90-point team plus. So watch out for Philly. The other teams, I said this before in my last episode of season one. I'm not intimidated by any other team. I'm just not. Bring them on. So let's get into that's my season preview. Let's get into the game real quick last night. Um, I wasn't worried. I wasn't worried, and I'm not even disappointed. It was the first game for quite a few of those players, brand new ones, so on and so forth. And it's the Washington Capitals. And honestly, for the first two periods, it looked like you see two twins, two siblings battling each other. It's like watching the two same teams over and over again, back and forth. And a hockey version to tennis, just going back and forth. You knew it as you saw it. And to be honest with you, TJ Oshie was right in the right place at the right time. It was a good chip shot. And that's what TJ Oshie's known for. Staying out of the penalty box will certainly help. But the Islanders had their chances. The Capitals had their chances, but the Capitals came in after beating the defending Stanley Cup champions, St. Louis Blues, and they only scored 2 goals against a team that had not even played a game yet. They were shaking off the rust. I thought Varlamov had a few nerves, but I wasn't really concerned. And for me, I know a lot of people are worried about, we didn't score the goals. We need to get that top 6 forward, yada, yada, yada. I wasn't concerned with the scoring yet because of who we were playing. Okay, and people have to understand, Washington is a defensive team first. They just happen to create the turnovers, and they have the players available right now who have been in the league long enough to just bury that stuff. To bury the offense. They can do it. Okay? The Islanders are slowly getting there. That's why I call them siblings. Okay? What the Washington Capitals ended up doing in the third period was showing the Islanders how to bury a team, suffocate them in the third period, not letting them do anything. Okay? And what you saw in the third period was that the Washington Capitals were still that older sibling. Yeah, we know you're getting better, but we're still better than you for now. Okay. In some respects, it's the 83 Islanders against the 83 Oilers. The Islanders were showing the Oilers what it takes to win a championship. It's that same feeling right there. The Washington Capitals were showing the New York Islanders last night what it takes to win close games. And that defense is really is going to get you where you need to go if you want to take that next step. Yeah, that goal by Tays off of 4 players, not 3. Actually, 1, 2, 3, yeah, 4. It went off of Samsonov first before it went into the goal. So it actually deflected like 4 or 5 times. So yeah, the Devils and the Rangers are going to give up goals. We'll get into that in a few minutes. But I honestly thought the first game was good. I was more concerned about the defense, to be honest with you, than I was the offense. Offense, it usually takes a game or two, shake off the rust, see what's over there, see what kind of chemistry was going. And I think that's why you saw Cal Clutterbuck in the last minute or two of the game with the extra skater, because there was chemistry on that. There's chemistry with the Casey Zizekas line, with the identity line. Thank you. That's what I was thinking of. There's chemistry there, and you saw it all night long. And Casey had a great chance for a backhand goal, and he just missed it. Okay, 20 games into the season, he's going to bury that, maybe even less. So again, I'm not really worried about the offense. I was concerned how Varlamov was going to do. I was concerned with the defense, and they had a few hiccups, but again, we're shut up. how was the defense going to handle the Washington Capitals after they just played a game? I thought the Islanders played defensively. I thought they were great defensively. So again, I'm not worried about it. The Winnipeg Jets are next. Um, they've been giving up a lot of goals and they've been scoring a lot of goals. To me, the Winnipeg Jets entering the season, they remind me of the Toronto Maple Leafs of the Western Conference, and they're playing in the Central Division. God help them. Okay, because they're going to have to do a little better than what they're doing. But I think the Isles defense should be able to handle them pretty well. So, having said that, we've got water cooler talk time. We're 30 minutes in. I think I can only do this for about an hour. So let's kick into the water cooler time. Rumors, conspiracy theories. Who do I got winning the Central Division? I think I have Dallas. Thoughts on the Hosang trade request? I know the Islanders. I can say this with confidence. I can't confirm. I can say with confidence that the Islanders have been trying to trade Hosang, or at least getting feelers during the summer, probably around the draft, and it didn't happen. So, thoughts on Hosang getting traded? Okay, he didn't make the team. I thought he had a great camp. Didn't score any goals, but I thought him really buying into the system. I thought it worked really well. I hope he stays down in Bridgeport, but I don't know if his attitude is going to be welcomed down there. So I don't know what they're going to allow him to do. If he gets traded, he gets traded. Wish him nothing but the best. But I don't know who the Islanders are going to go after if they want to trade Hosang. How many points for Barzal this season? You know what? For me, as long as he buys into the system, I'm looking at 70 points. 70 points, guys. He had 65 last year. I need to see more from Jordan Eberle. I need to see a little bit more from Anders Lee. But if there's one guy I really want to see explode, I want to see Jordan Eberle. I think a lot of people are putting too much expectation on Matt Barzal, maybe even himself. 80 to 85 points is tough to do. And you got to remember, the Islanders just missed the first place in the division by 1 point. I think if Matt Barzal's plus minus rating is much better this year, and he can rack up 70 points, I'm okay with that. Who do I see as a regular second line left wing? Honestly, Michael Dal Cole. I think the Islanders are going to give him every opportunity to see what he can do. And coming from that Washington game, I thought he fit the system very well. I thought he had a pretty good game last night. He didn't look out of place, to be honest with you. He was sticking to the system. And again, the system's going to annoy a lot of fans because it's not sexy, but it gets production going. Bellows a bust? Absolutely not. Bellows has been going through growing pains. What he needed to work on was his play without the puck. And there's a couple of people in here. I know Brian and I go to quite a few Bridgeport Sound Tiger games and whatnot. And towards the end of the season, you can tell he was playing very well without the puck. He wasn't really out of place. I think this year, it's something similar to Matt Barzal. Barzal had to learn the system first, and then the leash came off. I think that's the same thing with Bellows this year. He had to learn the system. He had to get his overall game going. And I think he had a really good postseason with Oliver Wahlstrom. So I don't think Bellows is a bust. I think he's going to take a little more time. But is he a definite future NHLer? Absolutely. How many points for Tays? You know what, Brian? That's a solid question. I had my expectation for Ryan Pulock is about 45 points. I'm not going to lie. Devon Tays is 40 asking a lot? Maybe, but I think that should be a goal. I think 40 should be a goal. Yeah, 37 to 41. I agree with that. I'm going to go 35 to 40. I'll be a little more lenient. I'm just a little tougher on Pulock. Pulock's got to hit the net and not the back wall, not the, just he's got to hit, put the puck in play. Yes, Dobson's going to stay, guys. Dobson is definitely staying. They don't waive Thomas Hickey for that. You don't waive Thomas Hickey for that. Um, Dobson is definitely staying, and it's because he's earned it. And I think the biggest thing right now is that Nick Leddy is going to have a really solid right defensive pair partner for him. And I think with Dobson, you're also going to see Nick Leddy's numbers improve as well. 50 points for Bullock. All right, Randy, if he gets another 50, if he racks up 50 points, I'll get you another dinner. It's going to suck. Um, Komarov fits Charles' system perfectly. Yes, I agree. Komarov does, but Komarov does have to put in the puck a little bit more. I wouldn't mind if I saw him standing in front of the net like we saw in the preseason and have him tip in a couple of pucks. That would be very beneficial. I need to see at least 10 to 15 goals from Komarov this year. At least step up. If not, um, I maybe even give Cal Clutterbuck a shot, depending on how healthy he is. Clutterbuck can get you over 10 goals. That he can definitely do. Why is Spiza still here? Great question. Ask me that question next Wednesday when we do another show. I'm hoping that question gets answered by Wednesday. So, and also typical answer as well. Seidenberg was practicing with the team all last year, and he didn't get a contract until the trade deadline. So Spiza could be doing the same thing. Who are the playoff teams from the East this season? I put in the Eastern Conference predictions on ilestalk.com. The only six I'm comfortable putting in right now would be Tampa, Boston, Washington, the Islanders. I'm going to go Carolina. And I don't know if I want to put in Toronto. I'm going to put in Toronto for now. Here's my problem with Toronto. And this has never been done before. The Toronto, for those of you who don't know yet, useless stat. The There has not been a team where their top two players, averaging 10 million or more, have made the playoffs. So the Chicago Blackhawks, once those Tays and Kane contracts kicked in, haven't made the playoffs. When Edmonton paid McDavid and Draisaitl, averaging more than 10 mil, they haven't made the playoffs. Ditto with the Kings. Uh, It just happened. The Toronto Maple Leafs now have three players averaging $11 million on a $95 million budget. Okay. And listen to how I said that. They have a $95 million budget. It's not their cap hit. They have a lot of LTIR contracts, which extend their cap height from 84 million to 95 mil, a la 11 million. Okay. So will the Toronto Maple Leafs be the first franchise in the NHL to average 11 to have three players average $11 million and make the playoffs? I don't know. That's very top heavy. They have the offense to do it, but I don't know. Watch out for the Florida Panthers. Yeah, watch out for the Florida Panthers. I'm in on them. I'm in on them. Yeah, Philly needs to. Do I want Spiza here or no? Spiza's just going to be the seventh defenseman. I don't think Spiza's been out of place at all. And he played 10 games last year. I'd be comfortable with him playing 15. I really would. He was fine. And he's going to be a non-factor. Yeah, I know. And Joe, to your point with Philly, Joe's saying Philly needs a perfect storm to make the playoffs. A goalie or D goes down, they're done. I agree with that to a point, which is why I think Philly is going to make moves like Carolina did last year. I could see Philly making one or two subtle moves here and there to improve their system throughout the year, whether that's goaltending. Well, you know what? No, I'm going to go against that with the whole goalie thing. I like Alex Lyon in the Lehigh Valley. I really do. I think Lyon won't be out of place if Elliott's here. If they lose both starting, if they lose Elliott and Hart, okay, we might have a problem, but I don't think that'll be an issue with Philly. The other players I agree with, but I see Philadelphia making one or two moves, maybe even three during the season just to get into the playoffs. Again, Greg, go ask me by Wednesday. about those questions. My surprise team of the 2019 2020 season. I would love to say the Arizona Coyotes. I really want them in the playoffs. I'm rooting for them. You know what? Another decent surprise could be the Columbus Blue Jackets. I don't want to say this is a cliche, but if you have a really good defense and Columbus still has a very good defense, they can make average goaltenders look good. Um, if the Columbus Blue Jackets were to make a move here and there to improve the offense, um, I could see Columbus maybe shocking a few people. Maybe not making the playoffs, but certainly as spoilers. I see Columbus as the Carolina Hurricanes of 2 years ago. 2 years ago. I'm rooting for Arizona, though. I would love to see them make the playoffs. And very quietly, I'm going to watch them tonight. I am going to keep an eye on the Edmonton Oilers. They just got themselves a new defenseman. I believe, Randy, help me out. I believe his last name is Bear. He's getting put in with Dumba. Is it Dumba? On the Oilers. So that seems to be a really good pair. If Sorokin never comes to America, what is Varley signing a huge mistake? I can tell you with confidence. Okay. I can tell you with confidence, Sorokin is coming. And if he doesn't come, blame me. Do me the favor. If for whatever reason Sorokin doesn't come, blast me on social media. It's on here. It's on YouTube. Everything's here for the world to see. If Sorokin doesn't come, you can blame me here. I can tell you with confidence, Sorokin is coming next season. Okay. Doesn't live up to the hype. Let me tell you why I think Sorokin is going to live up to the hype. I've said this before, and this is also on IslesTalk.com. You're going to have to go back, a couple of years. I've seen over 150 games, KHL games, with Sorokin involved. Okay. He reminds me of Thomas Greiss. More athletic, but he's got Thomas Greiss written all over him. And to be honest with you, there's a little bit of Varlamov. I think Varlamov gives up a few more rebounds than Thomas Greiss, but that might get controlled as the season goes on. We'll see what else Varlamov can do, but Sorokin really does remind me of Thomas Greiss. And in this defensive system, with everyone here, I think Sorokin's going to thrive. My thoughts on the Sound Tigers, man, they better go to the Calder Cup Finals. I want nothing less. Absolutely nothing less. There's enough defense there stacked. There's enough offense there. Honestly, I would love to see them go up against the worst team in the NHL midseason. I think Christopher Gibson's going to have a great year. Again, backup goalies here for the Isles. I have no problem putting in Christopher Gibson for at least 10 games. He fits the system. He's going to do very well. I don't see that being an issue. Low jersey numbers, but the vets get to keep their high numbers. Is that a little ridiculous? No, it's not. That's Lou. That's not Lou. Honestly, when you're on the opposite side of the Hudson and you're on the opposite side of the East River, you're used to this. And to be honest with you, I like the fact that Noah Dobson's at number 8. I really do. That just fits him. To me, that just fits. And the vets are already here. The vets were here before Lou. So he's giving them that respect. So when the vets are finally gone, it won't matter. These kids are just going to file in. And, you saw Dobson's reaction. Okay, 3 + 5 = 8. That works for me. So, yeah, I'm not. That's Lou. That's always been Lou. And Lou has won so many. He's won so much. He's earned that respect that he gets to do whatever he wants. So, going to be a great season for Bridgeport. I agree. Holmstrom in North America. Yes, I do. Great question there, Evan. And let me explain as to why. During the draft, and I will put this up on YouTube. During the draft party, Tommy and I covered the draft. I had Brett Leeson as a wishful thinking first round pick for the New York Islanders, specifically because he was a winger and that he could help out Bridgeport now. Sure enough, Holmstrom is here and he's going to help out Bridgeport right now. I was talking to Tommy, and I think I was talking to Brian and Brush over here. Imagine a line of Holmstrom, Koivula, and Wallstrom. Oh my god. If Holmstrom is healthy and he's learning the system, it's gonna take him a few more years, but that first line is gonna be nasty, nasty. Not to mention we still have Bellows, Larita, Laredo, Fritz. We got a bunch of them. They're all down there, and they're all gonna dominate. That's my hope. But yes, Holmstrom staying in North America, great idea. Everyone wants to know the answer to this. Will Brush ever cat? No, never. More the quote, more worried about goal differential and not scoring. That goes back to my point of the Islanders giving up less than 217 goals. I think they're going to do that this year. I seriously think they're going to do that again. They don't have to duplicate, 199, but when you bring everybody back, they get a little bit younger and the goaltending is still solid. There's no that's what Lou is coming from. He's not worried about the amount of goals that the Islanders score. He's just worried about the wins and losses. So if the defense can do the job, the offense is eventually going to step in because the offenses get hot, they get cold. We know this, but if there's a consistent defensive team there, like the Boston Bruins, they do it every year. Okay, they're relying on their goaltending and their defense, and if they get extra offense, guess what? They're going deep in the playoffs. That's what Lou is talking about when he goes more worried about goal differential than not scoring. Okay, what would you rather have? The Islanders win 3-2 or 3-2 or 3-1 games? Two of them or three of them, or do you want the Islanders to win 5-1 just one time? That's what he's going with. Does Wild go to Bridgeport or juniors? That's a great question. I think it's going to depend on his injuries. I don't know. Um, but again, let's ask that question again come Wednesday. Yeah, because that's going to be my next show, and we're not sure if there's going to be any moves made or not. Um, yeah, come back to me on Wednesday on that one with Evan. Evan, when we'll talk about Wild. I don't see the goal scoring being an issue. I don't. From what I just said, a half hour ago, I think the power play is going to improve. I think the guys coming in, they were all free agents last year. They were all free agents last year. And what do I mean by that? I mean, brand new coach, brand new general manager, brand new system, brand new philosophy, uh, brand new way of doing things. They're free agents, even though they were here the year before. And you've seen this before. Free agents, the first year, it takes them a little while to get used to everything. And you don't really start seeing results until maybe the second year. You see the numbers improve once they get acclimated to everything. But I think that's where the players are right now. They're acclimated. They know exactly what is in front of them. They know exactly what to do. They spent the entire summer prepping for it. I don't think that's going to be an issue with the scoring. I think it has more to do with the coaching for now. But if Lou finds a move that he likes and it's going to improve the team, he's going to do it. But he's not going to sacrifice the younger players. He's not. He's not. The goal also is to get to Belmont, not just win a Stanley Cup. First, we going forward? Wow. First call up forward, I'm gonna go Fritz for now. Fritz for now. 40 games in, 50 games in, could be Wallstrom, depending on who's out. Yeah. For right now, gun to my head, I'm gonna go Fritz. I have no idea what's going on with that one, Evan. And to be honest with you, that sounds high schoolish. I'm not even gonna touch that. Center does down. Center goes down. Koivula could be. Could be. Hart Trophy this year in the NHL. Ah, crap. You know what? If Arizona makes it to the playoffs and he has one hell of a year. Could be Phil Kessel, maybe. I know the NHL, the fans, I love stories like that. Um, Chicago Blackhawks make it to the playoffs. Maybe Patrick Kane. Um, I'm going off the board there for a minute, but yeah, I don't know. Um, could be anybody. Could McDavid win the Hart? He could, depending on how high he gets entered up into the playoffs. But we have about 10 more minutes to go here. There is something else I want you guys uh, to keep in the back of your head here. The first 10 games are very important. Most people don't realize that. Um, over the last 5 years, and this is a fact now, over the last 5 years, uh, over the first 10 games, if teams have scored 8 points or less in their first 10 games, they have missed the playoffs. Fact. Teams who have scored 8 points or less in their first 10 games have missed the playoffs. So I don't keep track of how many goals the Islanders have been scoring. I don't keep track of the goals against average. I don't really keep track of all of that. And I really don't take a look at the standings that much. But what I do take a look at are the teams that I know could be in trouble after 10 games or coming or leading up to 10 games because then I can eliminate them. Last year, I actually had Florida, the Kings, the Flyers, the Rangers. They were all eliminated after 10 games. Well, eliminated after 10 games. So, and it's happened before. Columbus had a couple of bad teams. Buffalo were, ugh, never mind about Buffalo. But, you know, be careful of the first 10 games. 9 points or better. That's what you want the Islanders to do. If they can do that, we're in good shape. And they should be able to do that. But just for fun, let's keep track of the team's first 10 games and we'll go from there. Grace starts tomorrow. Um, maybe, maybe. I think if I'm not mistaken on the schedule, there's at least 15 games back to back. So Grice is going to get his games in. There's no question about it. I can see for right now a 50-30. Varlamov to Grice. But if Grice wins 3-4 in a row, you got to ride the hot hand. You got to do it. Thoughts on the Rangers games being moved to the Coliseum? I said this on an overall scale. I said this on the last episode of season 1, which I have here on YouTube. So make sure you check that out. Um, the moment the Nets got Kevin Durant, I just went blank. Kyrie Irving, and there was one other player. The moment all that star power came to the Nets, I was I just had the entrepreneur in me was just like, yeah, the Islanders are not staying. The Nets are going to kick them out. There's no way that the Islanders are going to be playing on a Wednesday night when the Nets are going to be there on a Thursday. So the fact that the Rangers are getting moved over to the Coliseum, it just means that the Nets they're done. They're officially done. They have reason to be done with the Islanders. And the Islanders, the NHL is going to have to suck it up and just let the Islanders play it out the next 2 years over at the Coliseum. Let them finish up with the Barclays if they have to do the playoffs, so on and so forth. But if the NHL is smart, let next year be the end of Barclays. Let them all play at Nassau Coliseum, including the playoffs, because the Islanders next year are going to be really good. And to try to win it one more time, in Fort Never Lose, you never know. It would definitely be great publicity for the NHL as well. When is my first Coliseum game? I don't know yet. It might be next week. I have to check my schedule. But it might be next week. I know I'm going down to Florida the last week in October, and I still have a few more weddings that I'm DJing for this season. And they're all done by the end of October anyway. So before the weather gets really cold, I'd like to do a tailgate at some point. So We got about 5 minutes to go here. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel here on Isles Talk. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook at Isles Talk. You can follow me on Twitter at P_Kreischer. Check out IslesTalk.com. Uh, we're going to be updating the website. Uh, we're going to be doing a lot of things, and I'm actually trying to create, since I am a DJ, I am going to be trying to create a portable studio for when I do the tailgates again, or if I had to do the draft party. I'm going to have bigger and better stuff for doing everything. Going to bring the studio to you guys. Um, Again, click on the subscribe, promote this as much as you can for me. It would be greatly appreciated. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff here for the fans. I know at some point I'll be going to Long Island, and we're going to be doing a couple of promotions. We're going to be doing some charity events uh, for the Islanders, the New York Islanders Children Foundation, other charities going around. So we'll give you all that information later on. Uh, yeah. Well, uh, as soon as I get everything going here, we'll start promoting. Don't forget to follow us on Isles Talk on Facebook and Twitter. At some point, I would like to get some guests on here. We can do some video sharing, or they can call up here. I am going to get Gary Harding on here. He is responsible for this mess, and we're going to do either one together, or we're going to drag John into this as well. They have always said that they have a face for radio. Well, I'm dragging them out on this one. So this is like technically his fault. So he's going down with me. So um yeah, listen to the replay. Come on over. Again, thank you guys. Again, for the YouTube, this is all your fault. This was your idea. This is what you guys recommended for me to do. Um, let's have a great season. Um, let's go Islanders. Keep coming back for more, and you'll see more stuff improve as I get to tinker with YouTube on the channel a little bit more, and hopefully you guys have enjoyed this experience. So next week, I will be coming out with my top 20 prospect list, maybe a top 25, and I'm also that's going to be on Isles Talk. And then on Wednesday, I'm hoping to do a show on Wednesday at 7 o'clock. We're going to talk about the Bridgeport Sound Tigers. We're going to talk about their season so far, and we're going to be talking about a lot of those prospects. Again, I do prospects differently. For example, I still consider Matthew Barzal a prospect, and I will get into that on next week's show. Hopefully, we have a little bit more to talk about. If there are any moves made, we'll see. Any roster changes. Any news going on in the NHL that affects the Islanders, we'll be talking about that as well. So, once again, guys, thank you for showing up. Come back next week, and let's go Islanders. Take care.